Good morning, Tenor, and welcome to Tuesday morning in lockdown. Let's get tutor started today. Right, so a few notices. I think they're the same as yesterday. So I was talking yesterday about Europe loosening up restrictions. It's all in the news, all in all the newspapers and stuff. And obviously here we're still going. Boris Johnson's back at work after coming out of hospital. So I think he's making an announcement today. Remember, this will be yesterday for you. So I'll tell you all about that in next tutor time. But I think we know that restrictions are going to loosen over the next few weeks, which would be great. Looking forward to getting back to school. We should be back in June, which would be great for you and your GCSEs. Now, remember what we talked about yesterday. Now we know that, or we're pretty sure that we'll be coming back this side of the summer. You need to be thinking about your future. Have you worked hard enough over the lockdown time? Do you think you're going to be ready and prepared? Some of your classmates in year 10 have really worked hard. They'd have done loads of work, and this period of time they'd have got even better. Have you done it? If not, it's time to step up in the next few weeks. Make sure you're doing your lessons, do your homework, make sure you're ready to get prepared for coming back to school and working really hard for the last 7 weeks. We talked about planning your future yesterday. If you've not seen that, watch yesterday's tutor. I think it was really I went into a lot more depth about how to do that. But today, I told you I'd want to do something more laid back today, because for 2 tutor times in a row, I've talked about the importance of this and that. We've talked about getting back into work because school is coming, but you still have school for most of the day. You're still stuck inside with your families for the most of it. So I've got some made up games to combat boredom. Now, all of these games were created in the pub when I was a student. They were quite popular and they passed the time, and it was just something to do, to have a laugh, that you can do with your family, or you can do them with your friends. You can do them via WhatsApp, or you can have a chat or whatever. So these are some made up games that I recommend that you can play with your family, with your friends, with your brother, with your sister. No age limits for these. Let's go through them. Right, so game number 1 is a bit risque. It's called Snog, Marry, Throw Off a Cliff. And all you do, right, is you pick 3 people and you all have to say who you'd snog, 1 person you'd marry for the rest of your life, you can't get divorced, and 1 person you throw off a cliff. Obviously, you wouldn't get arrested or anything, you'd be allowed to do it. So this is a really good game to play, mainly in friendship groups. You can do it with your family. It works best if you use celebrities, or obviously you all know the people involved. So you can't do people in 10R with your family because no one knows who anyone is. Just be careful with this game because it can destroy friendships. We had a rule where you wouldn't play with anyone actually present, because obviously if you threw them off the cliff or you said you wanted to marry them, it would just make it very awkward. So that's a pretty good rule to contain. It can completely destroy friendships or make it very strange in between you all. So make sure you have a go at that. It's a really good game to play. You will like it. All right, the next one. We used to play this all the time in the pub as a drinking game, but don't do it as a drinking game. What you need to do is, it's called the last letter game. You pick a category and then you say something and you go around the table and everyone has to say something to carry on. You've got 10 seconds to say your answer. If you don't, you're out. And then it goes down to whoever's left standing. So, for example, if I gave you a category, say English football clubs, and I'd name one, and then from the last letter of the one I'd said, you'd have to say another one. So I've got the example down here on the slide. So if I said Wolves, the full name Wolverhampton Wanderers, it ends with an S, so the next person has to say a team beginning with an S. So Southampton, which ends in an N. So you go for Newcastle. I've put a leave out United and cities because there's not many D's and there's not many Y's, so just leave that out. So Southampton, Newcastle, so it ends in an E. So you need a team that starts with an E. Ebbsfleet. Are they still a team, Ebbsfleet, non-league? E's quite hard. Elgin in the Scottish League starts with an E. Can't think of any more. Ebbsfleet, Elgin. If you can think of any more English or Scottish or Welsh football teams that begin with an E, let me know. I think I've done well with Elgin and Ebbsfleet. Yeah, anyway, so there you go. That's how the game works. You need to see if you can trick and make it hard for your partners to go through them. That's called the last letter game. All right, the final one. Used to play in the car on long journeys. So it's called 10 questions. So what you need to say is you go, I'm thinking of, and then name something. I think it works best with a person, but you can do it with a thing as well if you want. So I'm thinking of, and I've got the example here, a Premier League footballer, you can say, I'm thinking of a singer, or I'm thinking of, I don't know, a teacher. And then the other person has 10 yes or no questions to ask. So here we go. If I say I'm thinking of a Premier League footballer, a current Premier League footballer, that's important. So has he won the league? Yes. Okay, so think, okay, so he's won the league. Next logical question, does he play for like a big four club? No. All right, that's a massive clue, right? Because the league's only won by a handful of teams. So then you'll go through what teams won the league. And then this is a good question as well. Is he still at the club he won the league with? Yes. See if you can work it out in 10 questions. After 10, you've got to take a guess. So those are some made up names to play with your family, play with your friends. Try them out. It's better than sitting around watching the TV, getting bored with each other. It will give you something else to do. It's a fun way to get going with it. So that's tutor time for today. Try out these games. I hope you're all well. Remember, email me with any problem, big or small. Have a good Tuesday, everyone. Work hard. See you tomorrow.